How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing a highly requested ticker, Husa. Now, as you guys know, this stock is known for running when there's something related to oil or anything related to crisis in the Middle East. It's been on my radar for the last week, as I'm sure it has been for a lot of you guys. Whenever there's a sector that gets hot, there are certain low floats that run and are known for running when that sector heats up. The oil sector, Husa, is a very, very big candidate, especially because it has a 1.5 million float. They recently had a reverse split earlier this month. Not a big move after that reverse split happened, but in the leading coming days, as the oil sector heated up, we saw a very, very, very strong move from Husa. Now, due to its 1.5 million float, I'm sure you guys know this 5x all the way from $5 to 25 isn't much of a surprise. We've seen this stock run parabolically many, many times before. It has a very, very small float. And as you guys know, other tickers in the oil sector, such as INDO, as well as NINE, are performing very, very well as well. So it's not just Husa, it is the top candidates of the oil sector. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that institutions are slowly backing out of Husa. Now, I don't think this is concerning just because of how strong and how hot the oil sector is. I really wouldn't think about it too much, but if we take a look at their short interest, as of 5:30, 440,000 shares were short. Now, most of these shares were covered. I was looking, I think it's about 2.6% of shares that are still short. Now, if we take a look at some of their due diligence before we dig too deeply into the chart, as you guys can see, they have 5.3 million in cash and total debt of 50,000. Now, this is a wonderful cash to debt ratio, which is a great sign for a stock to continue and have a multi-day run. Wonderful statistics. They have a negative 2.97 million cash flow, which makes them a very big candidate for dilutions. As you guys know, they had an offering about 5 days ago. They closed it 3 days ago. And I think this stock is a very, very strong candidate to have another offering, another dilution happening just because of how often it dilutes. Just take a look at the dilution tracker over here. This stock has many, many, many dilutions and offerings, and I believe it will again. I think the next time it has an offering, we're going to see the stock come down to $10. That's where I'm going to be interested in picking it up. I don't think it's worth trading anywhere in the $18 range. And if you guys aren't familiar with offerings and how a company dilutes its shares, I have a video that I made about 3 years ago discussing offerings. If you just look at my YouTube channel, just scroll down to the earlier videos. Yeah, I think they will have another offering. That's my prediction. I think the stock should come down to $10. That is the range that I'm looking to pick it up at. I don't think it's worth touching in this area. Surely it could break that 25 level, which it rejected very, very strongly today, just because of how hot the oil sector is. I doubt it. I think, the pullback that most of the oil tickers had today is an implication of what's to come. I think that we're going to see that $10 level come down to on Husa very soon. I think another chance of on offering is very, very strong as well. And yeah, as I said, they love dilution, especially as it's been making very, very massive moves quite recently. Now, along with Husa, I think most people are overlooking the aerospace industry, and a very strong example of that is MOB. I'm going to be making a video on this ticker later on, but yeah, just keep in mind aerospace industry, oil industry, these are the best sectors to be looking at, to be trading, especially these low float tickers in, times of crisis. So yeah, that is my prediction on Husa. I think we see $10 soon. I would not trade it in this range. I would not be looking to buy any dips in that $13 area that it's come down to in after hours today. I think that this ticker should see 10 soon, should come down to that range, and that's the range where I think support and demand will start to build up slowly. As I said, they're known for dilutions, known for offerings, great cash to debt ratio. One more thing to cover is something that I think is going to help their long-term, or sorry, not their long-term, but their multi-day running ability. About 25% of their shares are held by insiders and institutions. Very, very strong sign. I was covering another ticker, IBO, which has about 3% of their shares held by institutions. I think that's quite weak. A ticker that usually runs multi-day has a good amount of its shares, at least, held by institutions, held by insiders. So that's my analysis on Husa. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos where I dive into the popular tickers. I give you guys my insight on them. I run through their due diligence because, as you guys know, due diligence is key, right? Like if we took a look at this ticker a week ago, I think it was very obvious that an offering was coming, and it did come. You know, you just take a look at a company's history, you take a look at how they move. It makes it a lot easier to predict how they will move in the future if you know how they act and you know how much cash they have, what their operating cash is, what their operating cash flow is. This negative 3 million tells me one thing, and that tells me, hey, dilution should be coming soon, and it ended up coming, and I still think that more offerings can possibly come. So that's my analysis. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. So guys, as I am making this video, I just checked my phone as soon as I finished the video. It seems like there has been a ceasefire announced with Iran and Israel, which is why we see this dump in after hours with Husa. Now, I definitely now think that this is going to come back down all the way to $9.60, $10 area, and I genuinely do think that the conflict in the Middle East will worsen even though there is a ceasefire. So I am not counting out any of the oil sector tickers, but I do believe that tomorrow morning, tomorrow pre-market, you know, early morning, we should see a move all the way down to $10 on Husa. I think the oil sector is going to drain slowly. Had a massive run based on this news. And now that the news has completely flipped, we should see the exact same, if not a very similar reaction to the downside on Husa. So keep that in mind, and we should see that $10 range tomorrow on Husa. That's my prediction. Good luck trading this ticker tomorrow, guys. And hopefully the ceasefire does hold up. People are safe. And, you know, you never know, the Middle East situation hopefully should get better.